Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you my whole rundown, full 100% start to finish process on buying a car through Carmax. So a quick note, a lot of these things are going to be from an enthusiast perspective, so a lot of this stuff may not matter to the average person, but I'm basically going to be talking about the complete process from finding the car to hopefully purchasing it, because this is kind of live right now, at least for me, because I'm going to put all the clips together eventually, but at this point I'm just in the I found the car and reserved it stage. Okay, so a quick rundown is I've been looking for a new daily for a few months now. I just sold my truck just over a week ago, and I've been dailying my 𝙤𝙠𝙚 M3. It is not really ideal, so I've been looking for a new daily. Initially, I was looking for a 2011 to 2013 N55 E92, and I was really dead set on that, but I was also considering F30 340s because the B58, and quite honestly, it's a more responsible decision, at least for the money, and hopefully insurance won't be so high. I haven't gotten a quote yet, but we will find that out, and I'll probably include that in today's video. I've been looking for this E92 335 forever. Literally, I've been checking Carmax every hour, basically on the hour, hoping that something new shows up. And when they do, these cars last not long. These cars are not easy to come by. So if we go to BMW, we type in BMW 335, we can search nationwide. There is 6 matches total. You have 2 new arrivals that do not have pics. And then there's the XI Grand Touring. And there's a couple of those, I believe, yeah. So there's 2 of those. There's 2 F30s. And there's a 2013, this is a sedan, I already checked the description. So these are all F30s, there's not a single E92 on their website right now, or even an E93 for that matter, with the M55. So as you can see, it's a little bit irritating because they don't have the biggest stock, which is not a huge deal. That's not really, that doesn't come down to Carmax, but you know, they get all these cars from auctions anyways. But what I'm trying to say is if you're looking for something particularly in a certain spec or a certain year, you're going to have a lot of trouble through Carmax. Again, if you can buy a private party, just buy a private party. But if you're looking to build credit, you're going to get fucked and you're going to end up on this website. So that's my experience thus far. The closest I got to getting a car was actually the reason I sold my truck in the first place. I thought I was going to be able to grab it. I tried to reserve it. It had gotten reserved before I was able to snag it. So that led me to where I'm at now. I do not have a daily. I'm dailying the M3 and I'm looking for a car. So anyways, I just got back from my bank. I was talking to them about financing options and kind of what the best deal was. For me, I am a first-time buyer. Normally, I like to buy everything outright. That's how I am. I like to have the asset. But for me to make a responsible adult decision, I should probably finance. So that's what I'm going to do. That's where I went to my bank. I talked to them. They advised me to finance through Carmax because they said that is where I'll get the best rate. To me, that's kind of hard to believe, but I'm gonna trust my bank. And the whole idea is to actually just go to Carmax and figure that out once I get there. But that's not how their website works. I found the car that I am looking to buy. It's a 2016 340, obviously B58. It's a fully loaded, basically. Black on black. It's a nice car. It is an M Sport. That was my biggest thing. The biggest thing for me was it had to be an M Sport, and it definitely had to have some premium features like adaptive headlights or the upgraded headlight feature and the Harman Kardon sound. I need that. So that is primarily what I was looking for. That was my criteria. No beige interior, kind of the basic enthusiast criteria. So anyways, I found the car just about an hour ago. And I knew I had to act fast, so what I did was instantly, before I could even check the car out 100%, is I went to reserve the car. So they made me fill out an online application. I don't know if I got approved or not. I don't know if the car has been reserved for me or not. I've called Carmax twice. I've sat on the phone in the sales department 3 times, and they have not given me an answer whether the car has been reserved or not. I feel like that is a very simple thing that should be able to be answered. I know that it's not very clear on their website. They don't really explain to you whether you have for sure reserved the car or not. They don't mention that if you fill out an application, that means that the car is being held for you until your application is reviewed. There's no notice you get. It's kind of like I logged in, it's on my account, and the best idea I have right now is that the car is indeed reserved for me, because when I go to my orders, it's in there and the car is not on their website anymore. So hopefully that means it's reserved. I'm trying to put two and two together, assuming that it is reserved. To some people, they may think, well, yeah, clearly it's reserved. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as bright as some other people, but that's been my experience so far. Now, I do have to complain about their website. It's a little lackluster, and I can't really fault Carmax in particular on this one, just because most websites aren't really tailored to the enthusiast per se. They're kind of just giving you basic information like the car's color, the engine it has. Well, it doesn't even say that. It gives you an idea. It says, you know, whatever. It doesn't say B58, but it says inline 6, turbocharged, blah, blah, blah. So it's not very specific. And like I said earlier, coming from the enthusiast perspective, you want to be able to find what the spec is on the car, and you want to be able to see all the packages it was optioned with. And that is not something they include. Again, I can't really fault Carmax in particular for that, because not a lot of websites do that. I'm basically going to wait here for a call, and instead, if I would have known it was reserved 100%, I could have gotten an insurance quote by now. I could have decoded the VIN. I could have run a Carfax. So all that time is wasted just me waiting for this phone call to see if I even get one. This is probably going to be a 45-minute long video, but I'm hoping that it is informational for you, the enthusiast, or the average buyer, because at the end of the day, this is a real experience buying through Carmax. Again, not my first choice, but that's what we're doing. So I will update you guys when we get a phone call. Also, one more thing. I actually set this chat up before I even started this video, set up the lights and all that. So I would say we've been waiting in this lobby to chat for about 30 minutes or so, and we have not yet got a representative. So I don't understand why they're so slammed. They're not selling cars out the ass online. They should at least have someone at the very bare minimum to be able to chat with the customer. That is not what we're seeing here. Again, I'm just going to shit on Carmax because it's a little bit irritating when you're trying to buy a car.
Now, while we're waiting for this update, let me just start the phone call letting you know that this call may be monitored or recorded for quality and training.
Alright, so I may have bashed on Carmax a little hard at the beginning because I wasn't sure if they reserved it. Anyways, I got Jose on the phone that gave me a call. He was a very, very nice, nice salesman, and he gave me all the information I needed, which was helpful. They have a 14-day transfer fee from LAX, which is around 400 miles away. So it's a little bit long of a wait, and hopefully I won't be somewhere out of town when that car shows up. They hold it for you for 7 days from the point of when it's ready for sale, not when it gets to the store, but when it's ready to be sold. So hopefully this all goes through. I guess I'll update you guys when I feel that I should update you. Maybe you'll see me at the Carmax dealership, or maybe you'll see me with the car after. I don't know what the deal will be. Hopefully we are able to snag this car, because I would be very stoked. So what's up, everybody? It's been about 3 months since I last filmed that back in March, and I'm kind of just gonna go over what happened when I went to go get the car. So initially, as always, I went to go look at the car. I did have intention to buy the car. I brought my down payment and kind of all that. I brought the proper paperwork, everything necessary for me to buy the car the same day. Because that's really, I ordered the car to the dealership. That's what I wanted to do. Now, I will just say it. I did buy the car, and I definitely still have the car. So that is one thing I will say. We're going to talk about the process and how I ended up getting it, but, I at least got the car, and I still have it. It's not a bad car. So let's start from, I guess, basically the day I went in to look at the car. Alright, so first things first, I get into the dealership. I walk in, basically tell the nearest sales associate that I have an appointment and I would like to test drive the car that I ordered. So they go through their list, whatever, make sure I have an appointment, and they say, okay, we're gonna bring the car around front. So I provide them with my driver's license and proof of insurance. We're good to go. I get to take my mom and my brother, the people that drove me, on the test drive with me. I did not have to take a Carmax sales associate. I don't know if that is exclusively because of the pandemic, but it was nice that I didn't have somebody breathing down my neck, especially because, you know, with my experience at Carmax, it's not like every single sales associate knows much about the car. And as a buyer, you probably should know more than the sales associate about the car that you're trying to purchase. So having them there isn't really helpful ever. So it was nice to just have the car myself and kind of feel it out, toss it around, and really feel the car out. So anyways, as I'm test driving the car, I notice how dirty it is. It is disgusting. It's like it's never been cleaned. It's like it rolled right out of auction. Actually, it's just like the previous owner gave it to, you know, the auction, and then the auction didn't clean it and they gave it to Carmax. Carmax didn't clean it and they gave it to me. This car was dirty. I will insert photos if I can find them. I think I took a few. And I basically got out of the test drive. I said, hey, there's no way I'm gonna buy this car from you unless you clean it. It's disgusting. This is super, you know, it's unsanitary, especially when you're buying a car. You want it to feel like yours, not the previous owner with the french fries in the back seat. It just, that shit doesn't fly for a lot of people, including myself. So I just felt like that was a really unprofessional part of it. And it's not even like they didn't have the time to clean it. I was actually out of the state for like, you know, 3 or 4 days, you know, and the car got in there like 3 or 4 days before I came to check it out. So it had plenty of time to clean it. There was plenty of time to really detail it. But anyways, I just said, hey, I'm not buying this unless you clean it. They said, oh, okay, we're so sorry, blah, 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 you know, the whole run around. And then I started going around the car with the sales associate, pointing out little things like, hey, the cowl has chipping over here because it's super faded, and the sunroof trim is faded, and there's little chips in the trim. And of course, they don't want to hear it. They don't care. They are no haggle. And there's no negotiation. You cannot negotiate with them. And I knew that going into it, but I figured maybe, you know, maybe this was something that Carmax didn't see and they didn't, you know, specify with you as a buyer. You know, you would want to know that, and you would want to know those little things. Because in a private sale, it would be pretty easy to negotiate all those little nitpicky things, and maybe get your price lowered. So anyways, after me pointing out the little things I saw, there was no flex, no room for negotiation. I expected that. It was fine, whatever. I just wanted it to be known to them that, hey, you know, this is annoying that you can't specify these little imperfections on your website. Because if you guys go on the Carmax website, it's very misleading. You'll see the car that it looks perfect. It's got like this waxy, glossy finish on the photos, and you really cannot tell. They make it impossible. They're not going to photograph the minor imperfections. I guess maybe they don't want you to see them, or maybe they just don't have time to photograph those little things. It's really annoying when you get a car shipped that they don't give you extra photos of little minor imperfections, because you're getting a car shipped, you expect it to look like it does in the photos, or at least close to. Not to say that my car looked like completely damaged or anything, and there's nothing really from 10 feet that you can notice, but of course, you're buying a car, you're paying a lot of money for a car, and you want it to be a nice car. Now, after my test drive, I figured, okay, I like the car, I like everything about the car, aside from these little imperfections, so I'm gonna buy the car. First thing I do is sit down with the sales associate. We do some looking over some of the paperwork and information of the car. It's all very basic things that you as a buyer should probably know walking into it, like what the fuel consumption is, what the engine is, what the transmission is, you know, stuff like that, and what features it has, and this and that. And then they get to the warranty section. So with their whole Carmax Care, whatever the fuck it's called, I can't remember. I bought it. I bought their warranty. They got me to buy it. And I'm not proud of that. I folded on that one, but you know, whatever. The only upside to their warranty is if you do decide to purchase it, you can cancel it before your warranty is up, and you'll basically get all the money back that you've yet to pay on the warranty. So for instance, if you bought a warranty for $2,000, like I did, 25,000 mile warranty, which pretty much that's pretty fairly priced in my eyes. Say for instance, you get their warranty and you've paid like 500 bucks so far on your warranty, and you decide to cut it off because you don't need it. You're just gonna only pay that 500 bucks you've paid so far. You're not contracted to pay the other $1,500. And I think that's the same with a lot of dealerships, but it is nice to know that you're not contracted in. So anyways, after the warranty's done, it's time to do the real paperwork. I go and get my down payment. I brought in $16,000. I'm just gonna be blunt about it because I've already discussed a lot of details about my purchase. So I brought in 16 grand. They could not fit it in their registered drawer. And then they started to take me a little bit more seriously, which was annoying because, you know, when they see somebody, especially younger, going to get a BMW, whatever, I think maybe they just expect that. I'm not sure what they're thinking, but anyways, it felt good to bring the money in and be like, hey, I'm fucking serious. I'm buying this car from you, and I can afford it. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast or anything, but that's just how I felt in the moment. They counted the money, whatever, I go do the paperwork. Paperwork, super smooth process. The associate that was doing the paperwork was the nicest person. And I actually felt comfortable talking to somebody like that and doing paperwork with somebody like that. They made it easy to understand, and they made it quick and painless. I'll show you the book that Carmax sent me home with. This is the pamphlet that Carmax sends you home with. It's huge. It's a lot of documents. Basically just copies of everything you went over, I believe. I've looked through some of this, not all of it. I don't care, I make my payments, doesn't matter. So the only other upside to the process when I got there was actually my financing. My APR rate went down from the estimated calculation on their website. It went down about 2%, which was nice. So my rate is not that high. It's actually a very, very good rate for somebody with absolutely no credit when they purchase a car. But I would say that's definitely, you know, to do with my cosigner and the size of my down payment. If you come in with 5 grand and no cosigner, you're definitely not going to get a super low rate. But thankfully, I'm grateful to have a cosigner and to, you know, put a big down payment down. So it kind of makes the price of the car not really that scary. So all in all, Carmax, you know, I got the car. It was technically a success. Would I buy a car from Carmax again? Absolutely not. And only because it left a bad taste in my mouth when I left. It just didn't feel like I didn't feel good buying the car, if that makes sense. You know, I was stoked about the car. I'm still stoked about the car. I love that car. But I just didn't feel good about it. They didn't make me feel like I was there to buy a car. I just felt like I was inconveniencing them the whole time, aside from like the final bits of paperwork with the one associate. You know, they got 50 employees walking around. You would think that they would be trained and good, and make you feel like good about buying a car. And you know, that's just how car salesmen are, so I don't really want to say that this is strictly Carmax. This is just kind of how that trade works. And you know, it's just how it is. So CarMax overall was not a horrible experience. Again, I really only bought from CarMax because they had the exact car I was looking for. Basically, the closest spec I could find for the right price. So all in all, I still have the car. It's great. There have been a few little things that have gone wrong. I mean, for instance, 2 days after I got the car, there was a big screw in my tire. I don't know if it was there from the dealer, but I'm pretty sure it was. And of course, they didn't want to, you know, deal with that. They say, well, that's on you. I had to try and go get them to reimburse me, and it didn't work. I got the tire patched for like 25 bucks from a buddy that owns a tire shop. So it wasn't that bad. They said they'll reimburse me if I bring them the receipt, but fuck, it's 25 bucks. And to go through all that, I took the L on that. Now, there are a couple little minor things that, you know, should be covered in my warranty. You know, they said anything you modify or touch, you know, is going to void the warranty, so the exhaust is out, and that's basically it. So hopefully everything else should be covered. Anyways, with that being said, that was my experience. I know the video is probably all over the place because I filmed it over the course of like 4 or 5 months. And hopefully this was helpful to you. Maybe it'll help you make a decision on whether you want to go through CarMax or a different dealer to purchase your car. Again, and let me just stress again, please don't go to Carmax unless you don't have to. It's a great place if you don't know what you're doing. There's so many other places, and if you can get approved for like a vehicle loan through your bank, do that. There's plenty of different resources, but if Carmax just so happens to have the car that you're interested in and the pricing is right and they can give you a good rate, I guess go through Carmax. I'm not going to do it again. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to let anybody I know do it again, because it's too much of a hassle. It's not as quick and painless as they may say. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful. Let me know what other videos you want to see in the future, because I like making these sit-down videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.